Yes, hello and welcome to the event they call the Nitro Olympics. These international drag racing at Hockenheim. The 8th time it's been run here along one of the main straights of the venue, which of course hosts the German Grand Prix. And they join the event on Saturday with qualifying for the competition car class. 21 cars looking for 8 positions on Sunday. So some keen action. That's one of the best cars at Maruna Istra in the 90 Corvette, doing a hairy old wheelie there. These competition car class machines running on petrol. Of course, we'll see the methanol and nitro burners a little later. He's certainly enjoying himself there. And that's Jacques Bidard. As you see in this class, all kinds of different machines, but they are all front-engined. A big supercharger sitting on top of the V8 engine. This machine without any front bodywork. They are staged. Christmas tree goes to green, and Bidard is looking very good indeed. Getting a little out of shape, but he's there. And he gets 3rd fastest qualifying place with a 7.63. Now here's the Frenchman, Alain Pinel, 31 years old. He's scored an 8.5 second run before now. The winner earlier in the year at the drags at Montlhéry. And look at that, Alain Pinel getting very out of shape, and a dodgy run indeed. Well, big action there. And I believe Pinel disqualified after that very scary run. Now on to the kings of the strip, the top fuelers. Being staged, they can reach, of course, in excess of 230 miles an hour. A really good European time, the low 5s, looking for a 5.1, 5.2. And we've got Weaver Jacobsen and Peter Lands. Listen to those engines, somewhere in the region of 4,000 horsepower unleashed. And a good run there. Well, now we have one of the, not kings, queens of drag racing, Liv Berstadt from Norway, the winner here in 1991. There's Liv on with the gloves. Sponsored, as you see, by Mobil. Actually won this event in 90 and 91. It's had problems this season with her clutch management system. Her best time, 5.13. So state-of-the-art top fueler. Fantastic machine. Liv's one of the favourites, so she can get over those clutch problems. Gets her burnout in. So she is staged against another Scandinavian, the Finn, Risto Puutinen, who finished 3rd in the European Championships last year. So will it be Berstadt? And a very clean and strong run between the pair of them. And just look how close that was, but Liv just taking it at 5.50. 5.5 seconds for the quarter mile. Now we've got another Scandinavian lady, Monica Oberg. 4 times into the finals various drag races this season. Having a particularly good year. And her opponent, Rolf Iversen from Denmark. So a good lineup of top fuelers here at Hockenheim. This event organised by Drag Racing Limited. Monica closest to the camera, Monica Oberg. Lights to green, off they go. Unfoils the parachute. Now, Rico Anthes coming up. Monica Oberg, incidentally, won that particular contest with a 5.49 run. This is Rico Anthes, who has moved up from the Pro Comp category, running on his own. 7 entries for the 8 places. Rico actually one of the organisers of this event with Matthias Seidler. Big crowds attracted to the event as we move on to the Super Gas category, and another Anthes Sylvia this time. Rico's wife. A little bit of a burn up. Hint of Morris Minor perhaps in that one, but it is in fact a pickup truck. And they head down the strip. Now some more Super Gas machines. There's quite a lot of American servicemen coming along to Hockenheim for this annual drag meeting. It's twinned together with a meeting at Austria. And 2 more of the Super Gases go off in their qualifying runs. But Sylvia Anthes definitely class of the field. And now the bikes in drag racing come in a number of categories, but this is the top class, Grand Prix class if you will. And that is Jorgen Orkicker lighting up the rear tyre. Jorgen Orkicker on bike 867, turbocharged engine, revs it up to 12,000-ish maybe, drops the clutch, off he goes, has to make some adjustments to the steering, and just pips his rival, and you see the speed going through the trap at somewhere in the region of 270 kilometers an hour. Now we move on to on the right-hand strip, the Frenchman Eric Taboul, one of the big names in drag biking, with his Suzuki-powered machine. And Eric Taboul, 7.5 seconds, second fastest qualifier. Now we move on to the Dutchman Herman Jolink. And a bit of a dodgy old run there, and problems. And Peter Bosset, fastest amongst that pair. Former winner at Hockenheim, incidentally, last year, with a 7.35 run. Peter Bosset of Switzerland. Now, what's this? Is it a car? Is it a bike? No one's really sure. Tony Kleis from Holland. And the most intriguing design, well, it's got 4 wheels, but it's running in the bike class. Sounds magnificent. It's got a motorbike engine, but sadly he was in fact disqualified. Now pro street cars, and they're qualifying, and Jürgen Schumacher with the Dodge Ram 100 pickup, one of the top competitors in this class. We'll go to a break, but leave you with some more action on the strip, with a lot of this category looking really good, and lots of starts. Just watch them go. Stay tuned for more drag racing on Screen Sport. Welcome back to the Hockenheim Drag Racing Festival, and take a look at Oliver Jakobsen's engine, 32 valves, 4 overhead camshafts, and let's catch up with Oliver from Norway about this machine.
How important is this racing compared to the whole season? Is it?
Well, I'm struggling to keep my position as number 3 in the series, so it's quite important.
Quite important. I'd say that's something of an understatement. Well, another of the top names, Peter Lands from Sweden, and let's hear what he has to say about his technical problems.
Happy with your time that you did today, Peter?
No, I'm not. We got solar problem that the car is starting running like through a wall 200 meters out. And we don't know yet what it is. Was lucky I was shut it off because it was not pulling that good as supposed to do. So it have been broken badly if I was on the throttle all the way up. So I'm being a little bit happy about that. We're trying to find the problems. We've done some adjustments with the clutch and with the fuel and with the blower right now. So hopefully we can go all the way down to the finish line and get somewhere 550 somewhere or something.
550. That's what you're aiming for.
That's what a car should do right now, and we are running right now very, very easily with it anyway. A lot more to take from it, but right now we can't afford to do it right now. I have to have everything in one piece all the time, with just a little bit less of spare parts. That's it.
Well, Peter Lands there, but we switch to the Pro-Top machines, and they may look very similar to Top Fuel. Indeed they are, but running on the slightly less potent methanol. So a good run from Tony Dongs of Sweden, the Nintendo-backed machine, and a solid 5.5 qualifying run. Now this is the funny car of Urbacher. That's Urbacher in the black and blue machine from Switzerland, based on a Pontiac Le Mans. Body shape there. Against him, Juha Leppänen. Leppänen, the winner in Austria, just a couple of weeks earlier. Waiting for the Christmas tree to go green, off they go. And another very good run there. Parachutes unfurled. So now on to another fun car of Oxy Driven, also of Switzerland, and the funny car handled by Mika Kägered of Sweden. Again, this is qualifying, some 6.27 then for Kägered. And now here's a rather different funny car with a Saab body on it. It's Leaf Hollander. Helander versus Peter Cruz. And Helander with a 6.46 for fastest qualifier. Now we've got Rolf Vogel in the Sega-sponsored machine against another Finnish lady, Anita Michaela. And off towards the Hockenheim forest. Here is Steve Reed of Britain, the 1991 European champion. And Reed running by himself and having a big moment, and into the opposite lane, and thank goodness nobody was running in the right-hand lane. Steve Reed gets a time. Rico Panthers. Unleashes the massive horsepower, and a good 5:19 run was that, an excellent run. Best ever at Hockenheim. So Rico Anthers, not only the promoter, but the fastest man down the strip. Peter Lands gets ready versus Liv Berstrand. Again, we're still in the qualifying mode. These stunning top fuel machines that absolutely shake the ground. Completes his burnout. Car will be pulled back to the staging position. Those engines you hear, each individual beat. If you stand by these, you certainly want to stick your fingers in your ears, I can assure you. So Peter Lands lining up against the Liv Berstrand. And Liv the faster of the duo there. Voitinainen. Tremendous interest in Scandinavia in dragsters. A lot of the best events held at Mantorp Park. There are dragsters in Norway. And some quick runs there, 5:43. Now we move on to the show part of the evening and some wheelie stunting. And this is stuntman Laurent Oberg of France with his partner Veronica. She's a brave girl. And he really is now the top wheelie king from France, taking over from Richard Almay, who used to perform very similar stunts. Now, this is a particularly interesting position. I believe that Laurent has discussed with the great Richard Almay how these stunts are performed. Very, very similar stunts. And sparks off the shoes. Well, my money, the best motorcycle stuntman is Arttu Nyquist from Finland, but this man gets a very big cheer. In fact, the cheer is for Danny O'Day, who's coming up in just a moment. Here's Danny donning his crash helmet, and he'll be putting on a big burnout display. If you've never seen this before, pay attention, because this really is quite something. Super winch, that machine's called. Imported from America for the Hockenheim Drag Festival. And a wheelie, and look at that spark display off the magnesium blocks. And at pretty high speed too, and the crowd love it. There from another angle. American showman Danny O'Day. And the smoke whisks past. Now what's coming up next? More night action. Now we're going to see the top fuelers running at night and providing some superb burnout action, and good display here that really gets the crowd cheering. Expect the old flames. Look at the flickering of the exhaust system, please. Wonderful stuff. Just look at that. Magnificent. And look at that speed through the trap. 4:21 at night. Great stuff. So as the fireworks go off, we'll take a break and return in just a few moments on Screen Sport. Welcome back to the Nitro Olympics at Hockenheim, this great drag racing festival, and this is what Sunday morning brought. Wet and rain and drag racing does not go together. Well, here is the drivers' meeting to discuss what to do.
We have a time schedule, but I think we have to change that again because of the weather conditions. And I don't know, or all the classes that are in that time schedule will race today.
That was Peter Jansen, the start line marshal. So, obviously problems. The competition bike class with Peter Boser on his way. And a close run there. And you notice the times, they may seem quick. They're running on 1/8 of a mile. And more bikes with Jürgen Horkicker going well. So, Eric Tabul, the man to beat. Tabul, there he is. Really does fly down the strip. And the Parisian, Eric Tabul, having a very good run there. Now we've got Britain's Chris Hall versus Henk Jeeve. As you see the track drying out, the problem was that the section under the trees, the rain was, or the wet on the track was hanging there around the trees, so this shorter run. Now the competition cars, Peter Holstein against Bjorn Kronquist. Petrol powered machines. Just see how the tyres grow. So a rear engine rail, 833, and obviously much warmer despite the overnight rain, judging by that lady's attire. And Peter Holstein the winner, as Bjorn Kronquist has a problem. So the Corvette pushed away, sadly. This is Peter Chauffeur and Bertrand Dubé in that very different looking machine. As we said, competition car class allows in various different competitors running on gasoline. There is quite a complicated handicap system as well. We won't go into that right now. Now here is Gerd Habermann in the Mobil sponsored machine, the second qualifier. And that is Thierry Vaissade from France. Dog seems to be enjoying it. They are staged, green lights, and well, obviously a problem for Habermann. So Thierry Vaissade wins that one, and Habermann sadly towed away. Now here we have Jacques Bidard again. And watch the action here, and very, very sideways, and it flips. No, it comes back and hits the Armco. So a very hairy moment, and then, oh, look at that! Unbelievable, presumably lost his steering, and a very big shunt indeed. Dearie me, now that was a massive accident, and appears to be unconscious in the car. The emergency services and fire very quick to Jacques Bidard, and obviously concern in the crowd. And let's just look at it in slow motion. Bidard there, getting all out of shape at the start, maybe even anticipating the lights, tries to get opposite lock on, it flicks back the other way, and then the wind gets under it, it takes off, lands again, obviously totally out of control here, and now he seems to have gathered it up. It hits the Armco, but keeps running straight, and at this stage I would have thought Bidard could have handled the problem, but possibly the steering broken. Running quite freely along there, and possibly he was actually knocked unconscious at that stage, and maybe maybe that was the problem. Now the machine's careering onwards and towards the Armco, hits a vehicle that's on the side there, I think, leaps into the air, bouncing down the grass, and a very big shunt takes down the advertising hoarding and scrubbing off speed all the time. But what a shunt, just look at that, crashing back down onto the strip, bringing all the dirt with it, bucks up again. The dragster totally destroyed, finally slides sideways on and scrubs off speed and comes to a rest. And I'm pleased to tell you that apart from the concussion, Jacques Bidard was uninjured.
And the parts was flowing over, and I don't know what's happened.
No, I wonder how it go for him. Doesn't matter for me. That can't go into me, but I'm worried how he feel it now. I'm not worried to go out to run now, because that can happen. It can happen to me, everyone. You can't be afraid of that.
Well, slightly halting English, but then my Norwegian's no good. And here is Rune Istra. So Rune looking for a good result here and really has to do very little. Just cruise down the strip. His competition having been eliminated in that absolutely horrendous shunt. Now Danny O'Day onto the strip to show off this wheel standing pickup truck. Some of you in Britain may well have seen Steve Murty with a similar vehicle some years ago. Steve, of course, now moved on to much bigger wheelie machines, such as the Sky High device. And a nice wheelie there with lots of sparks. And go through the trap. So to Top Fuel and Rico Anthes I should say. Remember Rico recording a 5.19 yesterday, and I think these Top Fuel is going to run on the full quarter mile. And Rico with just 7 competitors in Top Fuel, I think running on his own. The Nitro pouring into the heat black engine, just over 8 litres of it. An aluminium, all aluminium engine. He unleashes the power and of course is able to back off, having had that by. So the next round, Liv Verstadt against Rolf Iversen, Norway versus Denmark. And that flexibility deliberately built into the rails. Liv running a Swindal chassis. So Liv Verstadt against Rolf Iversen. Off they go, and Iversen having problems. And a good run for Liv. 5.51, and the next shootout between Oiva Jakobsen, another lady, and Risto Putrainen. And a much closer run this time. And Putrainen with a 5.41 going through. Some attention here to this particular machine. Trying to fire it up. Yeah, it's going. Now it's going. So we've now got the semi-finals of Pro Comp. Lee Arlander. And it's the dragster of Krista Johansson, who has the best run there at 6.22. The other Pro Comp semi-final, Urs Urbacher, will be paired against Mika Kagarad. And these two have run together on a number of occasions before. And Robacker always finding Kagared quite a problem. So the black car there of Urs Robacker from Switzerland. So they've got their burnouts complete. They are pulled back. And can Robacker this time beat Kagared? They are staged. So engine starting to rev. They are off. And a great run and victory for the Swiss. We'll be back.
News from the adventure sport world take note.
To the Hockenheim Drag Festival and the final of Super Gas. And let's try and keep it in the family with Sylvia Anthers in the Coca-Cola back machine, the Willys pickup of 1940. I thought it looked a bit like a Morris Minor, but it is apparently a Willys pickup against Mark Niederstratek. Put the teeth in for that one in the Pontiac Firebird. Off they go. And the lady just has it, I think. Yes, by 6/100th of a second, Sylvia Anthers wins. Now, just seeing the final here, the Super Street category, with Peter Dreschel beating Clive Wellman. And now on to the semi-final of the Pro Stock bikes. Bjorn Gustafsson and Veli Malin. Gustafsson from Sweden, Malin the top qualifier from Finland. Not the out-and-out drag racing bikes here, these are the Pro Stocks. Engines rev. And a very good run indeed. That was over the 8th of a mile, no question doubt about that. So now the other semi-final with Paul Willis versus Martin Basberger of Norway. Willis in the foreground. And glorious sound there. And in fact, Basberger went on to win the class and claim the FIM European Championship. On to semi-final of Pro Street Cars, Marcus Hilt in the Chevy Vega versus Jörg Schumacher, the Swiss, 33 years old, very much the favourite. Schumacher victory here in this category, 1991. Went very well in Austria a few weeks ago. And off they go. And victory for Schumacher. So on to the other semi in Pro Street. Mike Freigang from Germany in the blue Camaro seat there, and Martin Zurcher from Switzerland in the red machine, and Zurcher has it. And the winner in that shootout between those two that we didn't see, Schumacher, and he claims the German Drag Trophy and Euro Series Pro Street category. We move on now to the semi-final of competition cars with Peter Chauffeur against Peter Holstein. There is Chauffeur in the streamline machine. They are ready. The lights are about to go to green, and they're off. And Chauffeur takes that in the left-hand lane. So victory for Chauffeur. So the other semi-final, Rune Istra, his Corvette, versus Thierry Weissada in the old model Ford T. He's actually the teammate of Vidard, who we saw having that extraordinary accident. And Istra, the winner, by just 11/100ths of a second. So Rune Istra, the winner, going on to, and Habermann, in fact, going on to win the competition car category. And Peter Chauffeur also claiming one of the awards. So now the FIM European Comp Bike Championship with Eric Taboul from Paris, the man the most likely to. Eric Taboul versus Peter Bossert. And problems there for well, for Taboul in that run, but he was to go on to win the actual championship itself. Now this is the semi-final of the Hot Car Series, which is a special class for street machines, sponsored by Hot Car magazine, which is a British magazine, but it's also a German magazine of the same name, special interest magazine for US cars, and Norbert Kuno in the black Camaro against Ralph Stocker. But the overall winner of that was Jan Lackstretter in his VW. There so you see the red machine. And also a victory in his class to Norbert Kuno. But what the crowd had really been waiting for, the semi-finals of Top Fuel, the organisers against a deadline because drag racing having to stop here at 5 o'clock. They were hoping to get the finals in. In fact, it wasn't to be, so these are the final runs of the leading contenders with Rico Anthis versus Monica Oberg. Rico Anthis from Langen with a 91 Swindle chassis, Keith Black engine, just ready to fire the monster up. And just to remind you, 4,000 brake horsepower bursting into action. So Anthis versus Oberg. Superb looking machines, these big rails. Drag racing, of course, starting in California. Developed enormously since those early days in the 40s and 50s, places like Orange County and Irvingdale. Perhaps the biggest drag meeting of the year in America is at Indianapolis Raceway Park, which is 5 or 6 miles away from the famous Indy Oval. But they are ready to go now. And a very quick one to the green. And, well, the lady obviously having problems with her machine, her rail. So, a very good win for the German organiser, Rico Anthis. So, the final pairing we're going to see, Risto Kutajainen. And he's against Liv Burstadt. There is Liv's rail. Berstadt. Remember, she's had all kinds of problems this season. Or Utianen. These Finnish names. Come round to Finland versus Norway, and a lot of smoke from that burnout from Liv Berstadt. Liv, of course, raced a number of times at Santa Pod, been a great star at the pod. And if you haven't seen drag racing before, well worth checking out the pod calendar. The strip been upgraded a lot by its new owners this year. And really, you have to see these monsters to believe them. The noise, the power, just phenomenal. Well, the anticipation is in the air, along with the smell of the burning nitro. We wait for them to absolutely rocket out of the gate, as it were. And who would it be? Well, a very close run together. Liv looking as she was just in front. But no, victory to the Finn in a time of 5.40 against Liv's 5.67. But that's all from Hockenheim. Goodbye until the next time.
Die Nerven hat.